we take a look at the COVID-19 death toll and what some are doing to get people vaccinated.
Plus, we take a look at the Senate during Halloween, when witches, ghosts, and superheroes took over during the annual trick-or-treating festivities.
Plus, how one Valley bar helps a local athlete train for the World Championship in his unusual sport.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Ryan Tismaneski.
And I'm Brianna Isbell. Thank you for joining us. Worldwide, more than 5 million people have died due to COVID-19. Here in Arizona, the death toll is more than 21,000. Cronkite News reporter Isabella Fredrickson looks at the latest numbers and what's being done to help get more people vaccinated.
COVID-19 cases in Maricopa County are very high. In the last 2 weeks, 403 people have died from COVID-19, and the rate of positive tests is nearly 10%. In an effort to reduce these numbers, Maricopa County has partnered with different labs to introduce COVID-19 pop-up sites, including Premier Lab Solutions.
We offer antigen COVID testing. We offer PCR COVID testing. We also offer the CDC recommended symptomatic, more complex virus testing, which is flu A, flu B, RSV, and COVID, so they can rule out what people do or don't have. And then we offer vaccination supported by the state.
As these pop-up sites offer walk-ins and free services, it has become a convenient resource for many.
You know, if somebody comes here and they're not vaccinated and they find out that they're negative and they've had enough symptoms to maybe make them a little bit more nervous about not having the vaccine yet, maybe that's good that there's an opportunity for them to take care of that at the same time.
I think it's important that we're able to offer, a variety of services, because with the flu season approaching, a lot of people are either going to contribute their symptoms to either the flu or COVID and not necessarily, they need to find out exactly what's going on with them so they can treat or quarantine appropriately so they're not affecting other community members.
Even members of the Phoenix Fire Department show up to these pop-ups to help, as they too have been directly impacted by COVID-19.
We had a member that succumbed to COVID, strong, healthy firefighter, got COVID, got extremely sick, and unfortunately perished from it. So that alone, people say, wow, if a firefighter can die, I can tell you myself that other firefighters that weren't vaccinated for whatever reason, whatever hesitancy, got it after that.
In Maricopa County, Isabella Fredrickson, Cronkite News.
21,155 Arizonans have lost their lives due to COVID-19. A report released by the Arizona Public Health Association says this number is high enough to mean that COVID-19 is the leading cause of death in Arizona. The report looked at COVID deaths compared to other leading causes of death like heart disease and cancer since March 2020. When compared to other states, this ranks Arizona as 11th and 6th per capita when using data from Johns Hopkins University. The report also shows that Arizona had more than twice the number of COVID deaths compared to Washington and Colorado combined. Both of those states have higher vaccination rates.
Arizona doctors are reassuring patients that the COVID-19 vaccine is safe for children before the official approval from the federal government. Friday, the Food and Drug Administration approved the lower dose Pfizer vaccine for children ages 5 to 11. But before the shot can be administered, it still needs approval from the CDC director. Arizona doctors are saying that the vaccine is safe for use and is the best way to move forward. Doctors are saying vaccinated children will slow the transmission of the virus, making it less likely to mutate and change the effectiveness.
Valley fever is endemic to Arizona and remains a formidable health challenge in other dry, hot parts of the country. As Cronkite News reporter Evan Liss explains, new research from Northern Arizona University sheds light on how soil moisture could impact the spread of infections.
Valley fever infects about 15,000 people per year in the U.S., with 2/3 of cases coming from Arizona alone. All cases stem from a fungus called coccidioides, which commonly grows in the region's warm, arid soil.
So we don't have a good understanding of the basic biology of this organism.
Dr. Bridget Barker of NAU has spent the last 20 years studying valley fever and the fungus that causes it. New research by her team shows that wetter weather could help the spread of the fungus.
But it would suggest that the monsoon effect is actually bringing those spores to the surface. And And then as things dry out, the fungus becomes more active again.
The fungus does grow best in warm, dry soil. However, according to Dr. Barker, when it rains, the fungal spores, which don't like water, come to the surface. They are then more easily picked up by wind and transmitted into population centers such as Phoenix and Tucson. While about 60% of people who inhale the fungal spores are asymptomatic, getting sick with valley fever can be life-threatening, something Valley Fever Survivor Support Group founder Sharon Philippe knows all too well.
I don't even know how to describe just how horrendous it is. It destroys your life and you think that you wish you were dead. And I said to my husband that I don't think I'm going to survive this. And to tell my sons how much I love them and I'll miss watching them. Just gets me just even talking about it.
Philippe has since mostly recovered, but more support groups like hers may be popping up in the coming decades as valley fever cases are set to rise in a warming climate. In Phoenix, Evan Liss for Cronkite News.
With this year's very wet monsoon, followed by a fairly dry pattern, researchers will be paying attention to valley fever's local infection rates.
The housing market is continuing to grow, and many home buyers are looking to relocate to major cities in other states. In a recent third quarter Redfin report, Phoenix ranked number 2 on the top 10 metro lists for home buyers. A large contributing factor to this, Redfin says, is the increase in remote jobs and the flexibility it offers its workers to prioritize housing costs, space, and weather over commute times. According to Redfin, 32.3% of searches for Phoenix homes on the market are coming from out-of-state home buyers.
Coming up, trick-or-treaters weren't the only scary thing to happen this past weekend. American Airlines canceled over 1,000 flights around the country, including flights at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. What they say is behind the issues after the break.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
What you get from Washington Week that you will not get anywhere else are the best and the brightest reporters from different media companies, and they're able to have a real conversation about things that are happening in Washington and around the country. But it's also a show about issues that are relevant to different communities. How do you think that, as the moderator, I feel this deep responsibility to bring in those other perspectives so that people understand how power and politics impact their daily lives.
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Your favorite member benefit is getting better and bigger.
This is wonderful.
Over the next year, Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream.
They give us all that they've got.
From your favorite cooking and travel series.
Even the stairs are breathtaking.
To history specials and award-winning documentaries. Better and bigger.
That really is the fun part.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
The U.S. Supreme Court today heard a challenge to SB 8, the Texas law that effectively bans abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. Cronkite News reporter Kimberly Severio Batista was outside the court with protesters from both sides.
The Supreme Court took up one of the most emotional cases of the term today on Texas' new strict abortion law. But that emotion rarely showed at the mostly peaceful protests outside the court today.
But peaceful does not necessarily mean quiet.
Where is the justice for the more than 2,000 unborn children who are brutally killed every day?
Erica Sacken was one of the abortion rights protesters holding signs in an attempt to block the anti-abortion chanting.
very important to me, and I love that people are talking about their abortion. Let's continue to show up for each other.
The protesters gathered outside the court as they heard a challenge to SB 8, the Texas law that bans abortions after 6 weeks. It also lets any citizen sue abortion providers or anyone else who has any hand in an abortion, what Sakin calls the sue your neighbor provision.
In 30 days, I'm going to have another abortion, and that's just, that's real.
And they'll sue you for $10,000.
And it should be okay to say that. We should not have to walk around.
What's unique about the Texas law is that it is not enforced by the state, but by private individuals. That left opponents with no one to sue to block the law, which took effect September 1st. The result, critics say, is that abortion has been effectively banned in Texas. That's just fine from veteran anti-abortion advocate Bill Cleveland, who said the current right to an abortion has had a disproportionate impact on minority communities.
Planned Parenthood builds their information and build their buildings in black and brown communities. We need life. Life is the thing that keeps us alive.
Even though today's hearing does not directly address Roe v. Wade, the court's 1972 ruling that recognized a woman's right to an abortion, Sakin says that's what's at stake.
What we are seeing is that this is really about one thing, and that's blocking access to abortion.
Today's case is just one of the 2 high-profile hearings set for the court this week, with justices scheduled to consider a New York gun control law Wednesday. In Washington, Kimberly Silverio Bautista, Cronkite News.
The Texas law is one of 2 abortion cases on the court's docket this term that could weaken or overturn Roe v. Wade. On December 1st, the justices will hear a challenge to a Mississippi law that bans abortion after 15 weeks and specifically targets Roe v. Wade.
The Supreme Court has agreed to hear a petition by Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich defending the public charge rule. Earlier this year in March, the Biden administration stopped enforcing the Trump administration's public charge rule because it was denying immigrants with green cards from using public benefits. In a statement, Brnovich says that state assistance programs are already overstretched, and reinforcing the public charge rule would save the state $1.1 billion annually in direct payments. The Supreme Court has yet to set a day for arguments to be held.
Flight delays continue after American Airlines canceled over 1,400 flights this weekend around the country and in Phoenix. According to FlightAware, there were about 200 delayed flights and 126 canceled flights this weekend in Phoenix. American Airlines said the cancellations were partly caused by 2 days of severe winds in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The airline is also facing staffing issues. They expect 1,800 flight attendants to be returning from leave at the start of this month and have plans to hire more attendants.
As we head into November, fall temperatures remain in the mid-80s. Isabella Fredrickson is in the Weather Center with more.
Starting off with our futurecast, we are looking at a pretty big storm that is coming in from the west coast. While that is mainly affecting California, specifically Northern California, it is also hitting those northern states of Washington and Oregon. Besides that, over on the east, we also are seeing some cooler temperatures up north. Moving on to our high temperatures for the state of Arizona, we are looking at some really nice weather. In our entire southern region, we are looking at mid to high 80s in temperatures, and up north, we are looking at cooler temperatures in the mid 60s to 70s. If you are looking for the coldest temp of tomorrow, that is going to be up in the Grand Canyon and Flagstaff at 61 degrees. Next, looking at our evening planner, once it hits 7, we are going to drop to under 80 degrees, and we'll just remain at a calm mid-70 the rest of the night. And finally, taking a look at our 8-day forecast, we are also seeing some pretty consistent weather the rest of the week. Enjoy the sunshine and the clear skies. Isabella Fredrickson in the Weather Center.
I'm Raya Graves. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. Darts might not be the most popular sport here in the U.S., but its popularity overseas has given one Valley athlete some notoriety.
I was so excited when I learned that I was going to be the next moderator of Washington Week. I was incredibly lucky to be mentored by Gwen Eiffel, and what that gave to me was this confidence that I could be my full self and that I was deserving of whatever spaces I was in.
Welcome to Washington Week.
I also feel this great joy in taking the helm of Washington Week, knowing that I can mold it and make it my own, but also make sure that it is still within the legacy and the tradition that made it so great for all of these years.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
When you support Arizona PBS, you plant a seed. Seeds that provide educational outreach in our community. Seeds that put our digital resources to work. Seeds that foster the trusted news coverage you expect from PBS. And seeds that continue the amazing PBS programs you love. But our garden can't keep growing without your support. Visit our website to see all the ways you can help our garden grow. Plant a seed with Arizona PBS today.
Your favorite member benefit is getting better and bigger.
This is wonderful.
Over the next year, Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream.
They give us all that they've got.
From your favorite cooking and travel series.
Even the stairs are breathtaking.
To history specials and award-winning documentaries. Better and bigger.
That really is the fun part.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
Welcome back. I'm Mariah Graves, and here is your Cronkite Sports Report. It was a struggle this weekend for Arizona State, who might prefer playing in the dark over the day. The Sun Devils' first afternoon home game in almost 2 years got off on the wrong foot with 3 turnovers in their first 3 possessions. The Cougars cruised out to a 28-0 lead late in the first half and never looked back. ASU fell to Washington State 34-21 and dropped to a 5-3 overall on the season and 3-2 in conference play. Head coach Herm Edwards says that the team is not okay with where they're at.
They're disappointed. They're a disappointed group, and they don't like being in this situation. And I said the only way you can clean it up is win. Then you're not in this situation anymore. Then you don't have to worry about it. But we're in this situation, and we got to find a way out. And I'm betting on my players. I'm betting on they're going to play, and we're going to find a way out of this. And my coaching staff. That's what I'm betting on.
Meanwhile, homecoming was all smiles and good times for the 1996 ASU football team, who gathered on Friday at the Arizona Biltmore. It was the 25th anniversary of the last Sun Devil team to play in the Rose Bowl. That team captivated the community and came within seconds of winning a national championship. Former offensive lineman Juan Roque remembers his time like it was yesterday.
It's hard to believe when you think about that. It seems like such a long time ago, but yet it seems like it was 5 minutes ago. And I guess when you're a part of something special, the way that we were, and the young men and the grown men who taught those young men, in that moment in time, it's special, it's nostalgic, it's something that will stay with us for the rest of our lives.
From one Sun Devil team to another, ASU basketball is set to tip off their season 1 week from tomorrow against Portland at home. After losing Josh Christopher and Remy Martin last year, the new-look Sun Devils make their debut tonight. The team will hit the floor to face the University of St. Catherine in an exhibition game at 6 p.m. Tickets and parking are free for the game. Head coach Bobby Hurley is excited to see his team hit the hardwood once again.
It's going to be, I think, a good experience for our players to, again, be out on the court here and have a little bit of a dress rehearsal for our first game.
The Cardinals are coming off a mini bye week after playing last Thursday, and the Redbirds will fly to San Francisco to face the 49ers this Sunday. But some of the Cardinals might be grounded for the NFC West Division matchup. Defensive end J.J. Watt will undergo shoulder surgery this week and is likely to miss the rest of the season. Quarterback Kyler Murray suffered a sprained ankle on the final drive of the game last week against the Packers. The Cards QB's availability is uncertain for Sunday's games. Kyler's top target, DeAndre Hopkins, is dealing with a hamstring issue, And center Rodney Hudson is on the IR with a rib injury. Sports staples in the United States include football and baseball, while in Europe, soccer and darts are popular pastimes. Cronkite News reporter Ashlyn Register has more on how the local World Cup dart player and his partner are trying to bring the European passion of darts to their home country.
Tucked in the back of a shopping plaza in Gilbert sits Jester's Billiards.
We have a lot of pool tables, a lot of dart boards, foosball tables, full service bar.
It is also home to and a sponsor of one of America's top dart players, Chuck Puleo. Puleo has competed in 1 World Championship, 3 World Cups, and is a multiple CDC Tour winner. But darts was not the path he ever thought he would take in life.
Naturally, reality in life happens, and you have to start working, and none of the sports naturally, we can go pro in.
Darts has taken him all over the world, from Arizona, Tampa, Philadelphia, and even all the way across the Atlantic Ocean to Germany to compete in the World Cup. The biggest difference competing overseas is the passion fans have for darts.
So that's the beauty over in Europe. You have walkout songs. Over here, we don't do that. It's different. So no crowds. It's in a room like this, so the sounds just reverberate off the walls and just lift you up.
Dart tournaments in Europe are an event with everyone drinking, having fun, and even dressing up.
You don't realize you're entertaining them. That's why you're there. So you just do it. You have fun with them.
Puleo's partner, Danny Lauby Jr., wants to bring the love of darts and the fans' passion from Europe back to the United States.
In the UK, Europe, they have dart clubs, and they can just throw darts after school, and it's a cool thing you grow up doing. And I tell my friends I play darts, they don't know what I'm talking about.
But until the passion of darts hits America, Puleo will continue improving his own in the back of Jester's. In Gilbert, Ashlyn Register, Cronkite News.
Puleo is currently the 4th-ranked dart thrower in the U.S. The next tournament is the CDC Tour Finals Championship, the Continental Cup. That will take place in New York on November 20th. The winner will qualify for the 2022 William Hill PDC World Darts Championship. And that does it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Ryan.
Coming up, the Senate looks a little different this time of year during Halloween festivities. Stay tuned to see trick-or-treaters take to the halls of Congress in their adorable costumes.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
What you get from Washington Week that you will not get anywhere else are the best and the brightest reporters from different media companies, and they're able to have a real conversation about things that are happening in Washington and around the country. But it's also a show about issues that are relevant to different communities. How do you think that, as the moderator, I feel this deep responsibility to bring in those other perspectives so that people understand how power and politics impact their daily lives?
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Your favorite member benefit is getting better and bigger.
This is wonderful.
Over the next year, Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream.
They give us all that they've got.
From your favorite cooking and travel series.
Even the stairs are breathtaking.
To history specials and award-winning documentaries. Better and bigger.
That really is the fun part.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
Critics may complain that Congress is going to the dogs, but on Friday, it was also going to the fairy princesses, the ninjas, the superheroes, and even Yoda. Senate offices held trick-or-treating for staffers' children. Kimberly Silverio Batista reports from our Washington bureau.
Children dressed as superheroes, fairy tales, and dinosaurs went door-to-door trick-or-treating at the senator's offices in the Hart Building. Parents were ecstatic to see their children to take part in the event.
It felt great. It felt like kind of like old times, just being able to interact with different people and different offices and to see my kids be happy and get candy for Halloween.
Parents also walked down the hallways with their children, and staffers welcomed them and even pets into the offices. Many of them were charmed with their costumes and made the children feel special.
Yeah, so just everyone in the offices were so friendly and just recognized that she was Peppa Pig and greeted her, and she thought that was cool. Ashley's daughter, Andy Sophia Dufexis, had so much fun being Peppa Pig and said,
the last time the event occurred was before the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020. In Washington, Kimberly Silverio Bautista, Cronkite News.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.